Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we today? And today we shall be looking at several issues that has to do with journalism. And I hope you will enjoy this session. And if you've got any comments, please feel free. So we shall be looking at the basic news writing skills. As you know, that we stick to the inverted pyramid. And you start with the most important issues to the least important issues in a descending order. And when writing a story, you start with what we call a lead. A lead is an introduction, and in that introduction, when you're talking of an introduction, you're talking of the first word, the first phrase, and the first sentence, which some would say the first paragraph of a story. We call it a lead. And using the inverted pyramid, we tell our story from the outset so that our readers knows what we are talking about. We don't waste time, and a good catchy lead is important. Your lead should address one of the 5 W's, or it can address all the 5 W's, leading to what we call a summary lead. And there are certain things that needs to be guarded jealously against when writing a lead. The first is that you should not exceed 35 words. Some they say 30, but 35 words. And we stick to the ABC of journalism. That's accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Accuracy, we are saying, give us authentic, true information, so as to avoid the risk of not being trusted by the readers. And then when you are talking about clarity, we are saying, please be clear. Check the names, check spellings for the names, check the numbers, and give us accurate information. Be clear. Tell us who said what to who, what happened, as precise as possible. Sticking to our keys, which is keep it short and simple. Some they say keep it short and stupid, but I will say keep it short and simple, right? And then we use active verbs. And an active verb is a verb which has punchy, and it's either you keep it as stem, like if you say kick, you can use either kick or kicked, you see, and it remains with punchy. Don't use a passive one like kicking. And one of the golden rule in journalism is that we deal with facts. So a fact should give you a paragraph. We have got as many paragraphs as possible. If you can't tell your story in the first paragraph, do so in the second paragraph. You can't do so, there is no story to tell. And we always say that the first letter of a lead should be the first word, the first word of a lead should be in capital letters. And whenever you have an abbreviation, write it in full before, and then you give us the abbreviation. Educate your readers so that as you progress, now we know that by that abbreviation you mean that, and it becomes so clear, as pellucid as a manner as it demands, right? And in journalism, please let us not be wordy. Let us be simple, so that even an average person can read and understand what you are talking about. Yes? So be simple, but not too simplistic. And I'll give you an example here. Someone would use big words to impress, but there is no room for impression here. Right to communicate. Communication was never meant to be tough, neither was it meant to be flowery, but it should just be clean and straightforward. So I guess with these, you should then be in a position of writing us good leads. You should be in a position to write good leads. So you start with the most important to the least important in that descending order, and yet it should be catchy. And it should summarize the whole story. And use the word economical. Then brevity, we are looking at, being economic with words. If the word does not do the job, take it out. Only leave those words that communicate and does the job. So that's what I would share with you on hard news. But of course, we've got soft news, which can come in the form of the columnist. We've got profiles, we've got feature articles. They fall under soft news. And here we use a model called literary allusion. And literary allusion, at times, you cannot even tell from the introduction what the story is, because there are quite a number of leads that we use when writing a feature story. We've got the descriptive lead, we've got the quotation lead, where you start with a quotation, and we've got the anecdotal lead, where you start like a novel. You can start by describing the scene without telling us what the story is all about. And there are quite a number of stories. There are quite a number of leads that we use when writing a soft story. So for today, we will end there. And if you've got any comments, please get in touch with me.